Hells Angels is the largest motorcycle club in the world, and over the years it has made many friends and rivals. However, some enemies have proved more dangerous, claiming the lives of many members on both sides. Here are 5 of the deadliest nemeses of the biker club. Number 1. Bandidos. The Bandidos Motorcycle Club is second in line after Hells Angels in terms of global presence and member count. Bandidos is active in 22 countries worldwide, with over 2,000 members. This motorcycle club is also popular as Hells Angels' long-standing rivals. The Bandidos Club was formed in 1966 in San Leon, Texas, by Donald Eugene Chambers, who gathered a group of enthusiastic riders who felt the need to build a brotherhood. In the beginning, the club promoted long-distance rides and companionship, but over time, the club's activities became criminally inclined, and the Bandidos became notorious for their illicit dealings and aggressive behavior. The biker club made several enemies, including the Hells Angels, in its hunger for power and dominance. The skirmish between the two began in the 1990s, when the Bandidos expanded their chapters into France, an area already dominated by Hells Angels. During this power battle, some disgruntled Bandidos club members, who felt marginalized in the club's decision-making process, decided to split and create a new faction of the club as Bandidos Nomads. This allowed the Hells Angels to exploit the situation and further escalate the tension within the rival club. An increasing number of Bandidos members were recruited to the Nomads Club, eventually resulting in violent clashes between the two biker gangs. The worst brawl occurred in 1996 at a petrol station in Denmark, where many people lost their lives, leaving even more injured. Unfortunately, the fight was far from over, and things took an even nastier turn in 2006. This time, a scuffle broke out in Australia when members of the Bandidos Club crashed at a Hells Angel clubhouse in Sydney uninvited. The fight ended with numerous Hells Angels stabbed and battered. What follows next was inevitable. Can you guess the Hells Angels' next move? Hells Angels carried out a series of attacks on the Bandidos clubhouses across Australia. A few members even ran a vehicle over a clubhouse in Adelaide and destroyed everything inside. This battle continued for several months, despite police intervention and arrests, and each party tried to gain an advantage over the other. The clash between the two vicious biker gangs is nowhere near its end, and the two continue to make headlines for their anger-driven actions and violent reactions. Get ready to learn about another biker gang that has broken all records for scandals. Number 2. The Outlaws. The Outlaws Motorcycle Club was founded in 1935 in Illinois, making it one of the oldest biker clubs in the world. This is also why Outlaws refer to themselves as the Originals. The club's purpose was to provide bikers with social and recreational avenues. However, the Outlaws transformed into a formidable criminal organization as the years passed. They became involved in illegal operations such as narcotics trafficking and extortion, making them a fierce competitor for Hells Angels. Their clashes only escalated as the two clubs fought for control and power. How did the clubs become enemies in the first place? The answer to that remains a mystery. Some say that one club accused the other of committing a crime against a member's wife, but we're not sure whether that theory is true. The Hells Angels and Outlaws have had many skirmishes in different parts of the world, including the United States, Belgium, and the United Kingdom. One of their most infamous fights occurred during a motorcycle event in Michigan in 1984, when members from the Hells Angels Club set up camp next to the Outlaws. Blinded by anger, some armed Outlaws members entered the Hells Angels camp during the wee hours and opened fire on their unarmed opponents. The skirmish resulted in many people from Hells Angels losing their lives. The enmity between the two biker gangs worsened when the Outlaws attacked the Indiana Hells Angels clubhouse in 1994, sparking a bloody shootout that killed several bikers. The two gangs once again confronted each other in 2018 in Illinois, when a massive brawl broke out between 50 to 70 bikers. More than a battle of fists, it was a battle of egos, fueled by long-standing grudges and deep-rooted animosity. The fight left many bikers injured, and 3 men were arrested on serious charges. The scuffle left a lasting impression on the community, cementing fear in the neighborhood as each club struggled for territorial dominance. The Outlaws remain a fierce rival of the Hells Angels, a fact that becomes more evident from their motto, Adios, the meaning of which will blow your mind. Adios is an acronym for Angels Die in Outlaw States. Need we say more? Number 3. The Mongols. The Mongols are one of the oldest and most popular biker clubs. It was founded in Montebello, California in 1969 as a mainstream motorcycle club. The purpose was to offer non-white, mainly Hispanic bikers a platform to cruise the road with like-minded people and give them a sense of community. It was mainly formed because Hells Angels had an only whites policy for membership at the time, so the non-whites who became part of the Mongols had a grudge against the Hells Angels from the beginning. Compared to other biker clubs like Hells Angels and Bandidos, the Mongols biker club was smaller in terms of members and global presence. Still, it managed to turn into one of the most controversial motorcycle communities in the US in only 15 years after its establishment. The members of this biker gang are known for being involved in various illicit activities, such as intimidation, assault, and even murder in defense of their territory and upholding their club's reputation. They also have a long history of illegal drug trade, money laundering, extortion, and robbery. Would you believe that the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco and Firearms named the Mongols the single most violent and dangerous biker gang in America? The rivalry between the Mongols and Hells Angels has been brewing for many years, and the first time its members confronted each other in 2002 left 3 bikers dead. 2 Hells Angels members were sentenced to 2 years in prison for their involvement in the fight. That was the beginning of a long series of retaliatory strikes on both sides. Brace yourselves as we divulge the gory details of their hatred. The gang cornered a group of Mongols in a Nevada casino parking lot, armed with baseball bats and tire irons, to avenge the attack on the Hells Angels members. You can only imagine the severe injuries the Mongols sustained during the assault. The Mongols swiftly retaliated in 2008 when a few heavily armed Mongols members stormed a Hells Angels clubhouse in Santa Cruz, California. The bloody battle claimed the life of a Hells Angels member and left many injured. The ongoing battle reached its climax the same year when the FBI launched a large-scale operation against the Mongols, leading to the arrests of over 60 members, including high-ranking leaders. The motorcycle club could not recover fully after the FBI coup and continues to struggle to overcome the extreme setback. Regardless, the hostility between the Mongols and Hells Angels remains unchanged and unchecked, and you never know when things might take a turn for the worse. Number 4. The Vargas. It was 1965, in the middle of the Vietnam War, when 13 bikers met on the corner of the 8th and Davidson in San Bernardino, California, to form the Vargas Motorcycle Club. No one knew then that this biker gang would go down in history as a leading facilitator in drug trafficking and horrific clashes with police. The name Vargas MC, Spanish for a vagabond, was chosen by the elected president, Rudy Esparza, and the patch, a red devil on wheels set against a green background, was inspired by an image of a devil in Life magazine entitled Return from Hell. Many motorcycle clubs were founded during the 1960s, and bikers would often switch from one club to another or find their club absorbed into a larger one. The Vargas were a small club, but it quickly expanded its chapters across California, and by 2014, it was on the FBI's list as one of the largest outlaw motorcycle groups in Western America. The club has over 600 members in 24 chapters throughout the United States, Mexico, Canada, and Europe. The Vargas are popular for their aggressive disposition and involvement in illegal activities such as selling drugs, weapons trafficking, and money laundering. And like every other biker gang, desperate to establish territorial dominance. This hunger for power and expansion has brought the motorcycle club face to face with several other OMGs, and since Hell's Angel have a well-established presence, they are always in each other's ways. What events triggered the rivalry between the two dangerous clubs? The conflict between the Vargas and Hell's Angels started in the 1990s, when the former established a chapter in California, apparently encroaching on the territory of Hell's Angels. This triggered a series of violent brawls that unfortunately never ended. One of the most brutal onslaughts occurred in 2002 in Nevada, where members of the Hells Angels group attacked a group of Vargas. The skirmish left many severely injured, and the entire neighborhood gripped with fear. Another clash happened in 2011 that resulted in the death of a Hells Angels member at a Nevada casino at the hands of a Vargas member. As you can imagine, the tragic incident acted as fuel on an already burning fire, and fights erupted across the country, with the end nowhere in sight. The two clubs continue to wrestle for territorial authority and criminal enterprise, and although police have intervened repeatedly to alleviate the tensions between the Hells Angels and Vargas, the ongoing struggle for dominance continues amidst violence and tragedy. The next biker gang is deadlier than you can imagine. Number 5. The Pagans. Pagans Motorcycle Club was formed by Lou Dobkin in 1957 in Prince George's County, Maryland. While it was originally established as a group of motorcycle enthusiasts who simply wanted to cruise together, the club quickly evolved into a stereotypical one-percenter motorcycle club. The Pagans have earned the title of an outlaw motorcycle club from the ATF due to the violent behavior of its members and aggressive territorial strategies. The club expanded to nearly 5,000 members in the early 1970s under the leadership of John Satan Marin, and established its strongholds in several areas, a fact that didn't sit well with the Hells Angels. The Pagans patch depicts the Norse fire god Surtir sitting on burning wood, brandishing a fire sword. The two notorious clubs, Hells Angels and Pagans, have been found fighting opposite one another on many occasions, but the roots of this rivalry can be traced back to the 1970s. We are sure you have a good idea of how it all began by now. The Pagans were creating new chapters and expanding their territory across the East Coast, apparently encroaching on areas under the Hells Angels. What followed was a series of conflicts and brawls that reached its peak in the 1980s and 1990s. Most of the brawls involved weapons that left many injured or dead. After each fight, the clubs pointed fingers at one another, insisting the other clubs started the skirmish, but the struggle for territory only aggravated the already precarious situation. One of the deadliest battles occurred in 2002 in Plainview, New York, when a few members of the Pagans attacked a group of Hells Angels, triggering further hostility between the two clubs. The Pagans wanted to expand to Canada, and also supported Hells Angels rivals to meet that end. One such lucrative opportunity was siding with the Rock Machine Motorcycle Club, a Canadian international biker club with chapters across many countries. The partnership between the Pagans and the Rock Machine Motorcycle Club resulted in several conflicts with the Hells Angels, including the deadliest motorcycle war in history, the Quebec Bike War. Have the authorities made any efforts to downscale the dangerous influence of the Pagans? The police have repeatedly tried to curb the mounting violence between the Pagans and the Hells Angels to ensure peace and safety for the communities where the motorcycle clubs have formed their chapters. However, the criminal inclination of the members on both sides makes it harder than ever to reach any truce. That's all for today, folks. Thanks for joining us on this dangerous cruise. And remember to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and press the notification bell for more shocking videos. See you soon.